up, gamers? It's your favorite, or maybe not favorite, Gotcha Greaseball here, and in today's video, we need to talk about something. The new Endgame coming to Honkai Star Rail, and there is something pretty special about this. We actually have to run 3 teams now. That means that you do have to do things differently in this game mode. You can't just divide your best supports between 2 teams. You're now having to divide your best supports and DPS between 3 different teams. So I figured in today's video, we're going to be going over how you need to be building teams for this new game mode, because, like I said, your supports are about to be strung out across 3 different teams instead of 1 team. Let's go ahead and take a page out of Mr. Pokey's book, steal his idea, and yoink it a little bit, because I'm not talking about the supports today, guys. I'm talking about the DPS on your account, because I feel like it's much more important to talk about the DPS, because each of the different DPS we're talking about in today's video have similar interest in terms of the support you want to run, and very different interests. So I feel like by watching this video today, you can align yourself with maybe 3 of these different teams, and then formulate 3 different teams based off of how good or bad a support is with said character. And as you can see on screen now, guys, we are starting off with Miss the Herta first. But before we talk about Herta, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you enjoy videos like this and you enjoy videos on Honkai Star Rail. Secondly, guys, I want to quickly touch on the sustain aspect of this. You do need 3 sustains built for your account to get through this, right? Because you need 3 different teams, right? So build those 3 sustains up. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty on what sustain to use for each team. Obviously, some sustains are going to be other for certain teams, right? Like, obviously, right? Like on a follow-up team, we know Aventurine is going to be better. For a Castorice team, we know Hysilens is going to be better, right? I'm not touching on that too much, because you can kind of just pick and choose and plonk any sustain character into any team, and they'll keep the team alive. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Herta teams. Now, the reason why I have the Herta first on my list here, guys, is actually because of the fact that she gets massive buffs and gives massive buffs out to other Erudition units on the team, you needing to run one on the team. So you can literally run something from like an Axe on this team, to Herta on this team, to Himeko on this team, Jing Yuan potentially, Argenti potentially, right? She's going to be providing some type of supportability to these characters, and then you also get stats back with her, right? Now, obviously, the best in slot in terms of supporter here is going to be an Axa in most situations. Obviously, if you have a lot more AoE-oriented situation, you can replace him for someone like Herta, right? Or you can replace him for someone like Jade as well, right? So any Erudition character will really work here, but that will literally go ahead and eliminate 3 different people in this team. So we have Herta, we have sub in Erudition character here, whoever it might be, we have our sustain character, let's just throw in Lynx on the team for no particular reason at all, and then for our last character here, who is the best support for Herta? And I came to a conclusion that probably many of you others came to, is Tribby. Tribby is the best in slot support for the Herta. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that you absolutely need to run Tribby, but Tribby on average is performing leaps and bounds over her 2nd and 3rd best in slot. So if you had the Herta team, I would definitely recommend running Tribby on the team. We'll go back to the teams at the end of the video so I can show you all the teams and their best in slots and stuff like that. But before we hop off the Herta, guys, I want to talk about her other options. Robin, another really solid option on this team. And then the final option I'm going to offer up to you guys is Remembrance MC. But overall, Tribby is going to be the best in slot for this team. Let's go ahead and hop into our next team now, which is actually going to be a team with Kafkusi. Now, Kafkusi in dot teams in general do have problems in certain types of game modes. I have found them to be kind of problematic in Apocalyptic Shadow. They work out decently well in MOC and Pure Fiction. So if you have anything with a lot of enemies, I think they'll be really good. And if you have anything that's like MOC styled, where there's like a middle amount of enemies, but not just like one boss, they also work pretty good there as well. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the best team options here. And the reason why I have them number 2 on this list is because they're very similar to the Herta in this sense, right? Because they can have technically a sub DPS on the team, and genuinely using Kafka as our foundation, the best in slot character you want to run on the Herta team, guys, is going to be either Black Swan or Hysilens, right? Now, this is interchangeable. Black Swan is interchangeable for Hysilens. Hysilens comes out, she will be better than Black Swan. But with that being said, guys, you can honestly run Kafka, Hysilens, and Black Swan on the same team. As far as the best in-slot support character for this team is going to be Ruan Mei. Now, the reason why it's Ruan Mei now and not someone like Robin, where I think Robin before buff of Kafka was really good and probably better than Ruan Mei in the team, is because of the fact that she gave so much attack. Now we have Kafka over here just giving a tremendous amount of attack if you have your effect hit rate over 75%. So honestly, it feels like in this sense, a Robin's kind of mute in a way, and this damage bonus that she's able to provide is actually working out a bit better for this team. So Ruan Mei, de facto best hands down support in my opinion. Doesn't mean that Robin can't work. You can always replace Ruan Mei here for Robin if you wanted to, and I think Robin can still work on this team, but it's definitely not the best in slot. So the best in slot support on a dual dot team is going to be Ruan Mei, but Ruan Mei is also interchangeable on this team if you have put forth the investment to go for a triple dot lineup with the new character Hysilens coming out very soon. Hopping into our next team now, which is Break. Now, the reason I wanted to bring up Break here is because of Ruan Mei, really, right? Unfortunately, Break for me, guys, has not gotten much love in the game, I feel like, because honestly, I feel like Dot has gotten so much more support than this class had, because on this class, you really can't run Robin. You can run, Ruan Mei is the best in slot supporter on this team, hands down, or I guess over Fugue. I don't have Fugue, right? So we're just gonna put, you know what? Hey, we're putting Ting Yun here. This is Fugue's position here. You can obviously run either Rappa or Firefly here on this team, and then your best in slot support character other than Fugue is going to be Ruan Mei. Like, you do not ever separate, like Ruan Mei, in my findings, is always on the team, regardless if you have Fugue or Harmony MC on the team. Literally, Ruan Mei is basically there at all times. If you take Ruan Mei off the team, then it kind of fumbles the bag, right? So you really do need a lot of upfront investment for this team to actually be viable and actually work. It's the same thing as scenario as the Dot team, right? If you haven't put forth the investment for break, then it's probably going to suck ass and you probably wouldn't use it. But this is just going over the best in slot supports for these teams if you have these teams. So if another team later on maybe would have this support, maybe you look for another option, because these are kind of like the only options that are super good for these teams right here. Hopping into our next team now, which is actually a team with Fanusi. Fanusi actually does have a lot of options. He does have one caveat, though. I will say Fanusi has one caveat, and his one caveat is that genuinely you want to run him in a triple support setup. That means you're wanting characters like Ruan Mei, Sunday, Sparkle, Bronya, 3 of these characters on the team at all times. You really don't want a run and sustain on his team. He is one of the few characters in the game that I feel comfortable running sustainless with how copious my account is. So for that matter, he is going to be taking up extra slots potentially. But let's go ahead now and talk about what his best in slot supports are. And in my findings, guys, the best in slot support for someone like Phainon here is actually Sunday. I think Sunday actually does work pretty well with him, because Sunday's ultimate also gives him ability to get an extra charge up, because it technically gives energy. So if you give energy, then you automatically give him 1 extra charge. So Sunday is going to be the best in slot here. So that's decent here, right? But let's go ahead and talk about some of these other supports, right? Because he's not really someone you want to run a dual DPS team, right? Let's go ahead and hop into the other options here, right? Now, honestly, very free-to-play friendly in a sense, right? Bronya competes very close to what Sunday is able to do, and honestly, you'd probably see Bronya outperforming Sunday in a lot of different teams. I just don't fucking like Bronya, so I don't use Bronya. So, yeah, I use Sunday instead, but bias aside, I think Bronya also plays a really strong role on this team, because you don't really have to worry about the skill points as much as other teams with Bronya on it. You can kind of get her full buffs. He transforms, he carries over all the buffs, because her buffs really only last till the end of the turn, so you get his ult up, you pop off, and then you get all those buffs, like juicy buffs, for basically absolutely free while he's in his transcended state. Now let's go ahead and talk about the third best in slot option here, and this is going to be Miss Throbbin Robin, guys. Yes. Now this is what I would say the best in slot Phainon team is, though I will say it's interchangeable with a lot of units. You can use a lot of supports on this team, and I think that makes him really, really flexible in this sense, right? Because honestly, no other team we're going to talk about today is using Bronya. If you have Bronya, you can actually pick Bronya up for completely free at your 300 pull marker, or you might have already have her on your account. Most people already have Bronya on their account. You can just slot her in. You can put 2 other support characters on the team, and he works just fine. Maybe you pull the Sunday, throw Sunday on the team, he'll work completely fine there. Throw Robert on the team, she'll work completely fine there. Hell, mix it up a bit. You can even go and throw Remembrance MC on this team. It works well here too. Hey, you don't have Robin. Well, hell, you know, you probably got a free Ruan Mei whenever that came around, right? So now you have basically a full free-to-play team that you can use with Phainon here, and it works absolutely amazingly. Now, I will say Ruan Mei used on a lot of teams. Remembrance MC used on a lot of teams, as we'll see a little bit later in this video. But overall, guys, you can make this team as free-to-play as possible, and he still works generally really good. Honestly, you could replace Ruan Mei for someone like Ting Yun as well, and he still pops the fuck off. And he'll still be a good in game modes like Apocalyptic Shadow, like Pure Fiction, like Mirror of Chaos. He'll still work. Throw Tribute on the team. She works. Throw Cypher on the team. She works. You can literally use him with just about any supportive character in the game. So he's kind of like the free bingo slot, like a bingo card, right? Like, it doesn't matter. You get the market offer completely free. So genuinely, guys, if you have Phainon on your account, what I would say do is build out your other 2 teams first. What other supports you have left. Bronya not going to be used, so you have Bronya for free there, right? Put the other 2 supports with him, or maybe you run 1 support and 1 sustain and you call it a day, right? If you have Phainon, that means you only need 2 sustains as well, potentially, right? So with that being said, guys, build out your other 2 teams first, and then focus on building out your Phainon. But wait, pause, stop right there. Don't even know what section we're about to talk about right now, but definitely hit the subscribe button before we talk about whatever section that is. You guys want to support me? Hitting the subscribe button is the best way to do it. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead now and talk about whatever team or character we were going to talk about next. But hopping back into the video here, guys, let's go and talk about our next team, team number 5. Ooh, Miss FeiXaio. Miss FeiXaio, very, very hit or miss. Really depends on what the situation is. If you're facing something super single target or MOC, she can work. Single target, the more single target, the better. Let's just put it that way, right? So let's go ahead and hop into our first best in slot option. That is going to be Miss Taupe Ass, guys, okay? Taupe Ass is going to be absolutely amazing for her, as you know. I would say you do want vertical investment within Taupe Ass to really make her pop off. If you don't have this vertical investment in Taupe Ass, you could use someone like Cypher on the team as well. I think Cypher is a pretty decent replacement for someone like Taupe Ass. Don't have Cypher on my account, so I can't put her here for this demonstration today. But let's go and talk about our best in slot support now. That best in slot support easily going to be Robin here. Like, you really don't run teams with FeiXaio without Robin. Now, I will say there is one replacement that I have found great success with. That's actually Tribby. I think Tribby works tremendously on a team with FeiXaio, and my FeiXaio's ass. I have used FeiXaio, not this MOC, but I have used FeiXaio in every other MOC prior to this MOC, and beaten it within 5 cycles with FeiXaio, and it's been absolutely fine. Same thing with this dot team as well. I've used this dot team for every single one, including this one, and they have cleared on auto fairly easily. Now, I will say one thing with this. Realistically, guys, like, you can run any sustain here, but I would really recommend Aventurine. I think Aventurine does bring out a lot more stacks within your FeiXaio. So yeah, I definitely do recommend that. But in terms of this team here, you can run these 3 characters right here. If you want to get more free-to-play friendly, the team does get a little bit worse. But if you have a well-built Hunt March 7th, I think Hunt March 7th is actually a great addition to this team as well. Don't mind the thing here. I haven't used her since she had her outfit, and I wanted her to have her outfit on. And for some fucking reason, you can't have her outfit on in the imaginary state. Anyways, guys, I'm talking about our final team of the day, guys, and that's going to be a Castorice team. Now, Castorice is probably the strongest DPS of the bunch, other than Phainon. I think Phainon and her are very close in terms of power. I think in terms of flexibility, Phainon's a bit more flexible in the teammates you can have on a team than Castorice is. But let's go ahead and talk about Castorice now, right? Because she is somewhat flexible in a sense that I don't think this is the best in slot team to run her on. I definitely think hyper carry is the way to go for her, but you can definitely run a sub DPS on the team and she can still definitely work. You can run, for example, on my alt account here, Blade. You can run My Day here in this slot. You can run Cypher here in this spot as well. You can run multiple different characters in this slot, and I still think she performs adequately. Now, when we're talking about supports, right, because you generally do want to run her with 2 supports. Her best in slot support that I have seen, okay, now, guys, don't judge my account here. We have not, on the alt account, unlocked Remembrance MC because I don't feel like doing the fucking story. We just got the skip button. I haven't done it yet, okay, on the alt account. So I'm not doing it. So we'll be using Preservation Trailblazer as the slot in here. I do think that Remembrance MC is the best in slot support for Castorice, so it's super free to play. But as we mentioned earlier, this is a free to play support, and they're generally pretty good on just about every single team you run them on. If you had the choice, I would say definitely running Castorice team than other teams, but yeah, Remembrance MC, absolutely amazing here to fit with her. Tribby is going to be the best second in slot support for Castorice here. Now, you don't have to run Tribby on this team. I think that she works pretty decently well with other types of supports, like I think if you didn't have a Tribby, or maybe you're using a Tribby on another team that seems more detrimental, like aka the Herta team, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Overall, guys, you could run someone like Ruan May on this team, and this team worked completely fine as well. So like slotting Ruan May here can work pretty aggressively. And these would be the 3 options that I recommend. Of course, in terms of your sustain, I think Hysilens here is going to be the best in slot sustain by a pretty fair fucking margin, especially if you do have her light cone, so I wouldn't run her anywhere else if you had him on this team. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about sustains too much in this video because sustains just kind of fit and sustains just kind of work, in my opinion. But overall, she has a couple different options here. But let's go ahead and talk about support importance, because there are definitely teams where a certain support gives you a lot more value than by putting them on another team, right? And let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, Miss Tribby. In terms of who she works the best with, I think the Herta. I think you do lose overall more performance by not having Tribby on a the Herta team versus not having Tribby on a Castorice team. So I would definitely be slotting Tribby into a the Herta team if you had the choice between, you know, Castorice, the Herta, and another team. I think that out of the 3 teams, it doesn't matter what, Tribby works the best for the Herta, and then second best in slot would be something like Castorice, right? And then for Phainon, jack of all trades, just kind of throw whoever in there, and he kind of just works. Then we can start talking about a character like Robin, right? Robin obviously being great for a FeiXaio team. Robin also going to be good for a Phainon team as well. Robin also going to be good for I guess, well, the Herta team, like, can work there too, right? But generally, guys, you're really only using Robin on follow-up team, and you're using Robin on Phainon team, right? So she is pretty clear in the woods for using on either one of these teams. Like, if you have both these teams, like, she could definitely work in both scenarios. If you had to make the choice of who to put Robin on the team with, like I said, Phainon is great in the sense that he can work with any support, and you don't have to run Robin here to make it functional. Genuinely, FeiXaio feels unfunctional at times without Robin on the team. So if you had to make a choice between your Phainon and your FeiXaio with running Robin on the team, you put your Robin on the FeiXaio team, and then you throw another support into this team, and it's a happy, fun, dandy day. Hopping into a very contingent supporter, guys, Ruan Mei. Ruan Mei is used for dot teams. Ruan Mei can be heavily used in the Herta team. Ruan Mei heavily used in this team. Ruan Mei heavily used on Castorice teams. You wouldn't really run Ruan Mei here, but and then Ruan Mei heavily ran on break teams. So you really do have to make a choice. Like I said before, Phainon teams, pick and choose, pick your poison, like throw whoever's on the team, they'll kind of work, right? So overall, guys, just as a one final simple breakdown of who like gives the most value for each team, right? I would say Tribby gives the most value to the Herta team. I would say that Ruan Mei provides the most performance increases to a dot team and also a break team as well. Phainon, throw any support in there and it works, but definitely do recommend Bronya on this team and kind of just anyone else. So Sunday definitely works here too if you have him. And if we're talking about a character like Robin, right, she's going to be giving you the most performance in a team with FeiXaio. He also works very, very good and is in the best in slot team for Phainon as well. Then finally hopping into Castorice team, right? I think Remembrance MC provides the most value to that team. Keep in mind, if you're using Remembrance MC, you cannot use Harmony MC. So for you breakmans out there that don't have Fugue, you might be in a bit of a pickle, especially if you're a Castorice team and you want to use Remembrance MC. Kind of quick there, but overall, guys, those are the recommendations that I have in today's video. I do have one more honorable mention. That is going to be Archer. I think Archer can work in single target scenarios, and Apoc Shadow, he's just kind of hard, in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, bro's kind of hard to actually set up, okay? So you really do want Sparkle. Don't really recommend, like, that is the guy, that is the girl you send to him, okay? But overall, guys, that's all that I have to recommend in today's video. Tell me if this video helped you out, or was this video absolute copium? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Yeah, leave a comment, like, maybe subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later, bye.